Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about rare Washington quarters that look normal but are worth big money. Some of these coins have special mistakes or rare designs. Let's check out 7 of the most valuable quarters you could find in your pocket. Our first rare and valuable coin is the 1967 Washington quarter with no mint mark. At first look, it may seem like a normal quarter you could use to buy something. But this coin can actually be worth thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. Let's talk about why this coin is special and what makes it so valuable. In 1967, the U.S. Mint made a big change. Before that year, most coins had a small letter on them called a mint mark. This letter told you where the coin was made, like P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But in 1965, 1966, and 1967, the Mint decided not to use any mint marks. They were trying to stop people from collecting coins just because of the mint mark, since there was a coin shortage at the time. So, if you find a 1967 quarter with no mint mark, that's normal. Most of them don't have one. But here's where it gets interesting. Some quarters from 1967 were made just for collectors. These special coins were not made for spending in stores or vending machines. Instead, they were part of something called a special mint set, or SMS for short. These sets had coins that looked much nicer than regular coins. They were made with more care and had a smooth, satin-like finish that shines softly. Here's how you can tell the difference. The surface of the coin looks smooth and shiny, not dull. The details on the coin, like George Washington's face or the eagle on the back, are very sharp and clear. The edges are clean and look like they were perfectly cut. These details make the special mint set coins stand out from regular quarters. Most 1967 quarters were used by people every day and got scratched or worn out. But the SMS quarters were kept in protective cases, so many of them are still in great condition. And the better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Now let's talk money. A regular 1967 quarter is only worth 25 cents. But a 1967 quarter from a special mint set, especially one that is still in perfect or near perfect condition, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One of these rare SMS coins sold at an auction in 2014 for over $7,000. That's amazing for a coin that originally only cost 25 cents. The reason it sold for so much is because it was in top condition, graded MS67 by coin experts, and because these SMS coins are hard to find. So, how can you tell if your 1967 quarter is worth something? Take a good look at it under a light. If it looks extra smooth, shiny, and the design is super clear, you might have something special. If you're not sure, you can take it to a coin dealer or have it graded. This coin is a great reminder that even pocket change can be treasure. Keep your eyes open, you never know what you might find. Next, let's talk about the 1979 Washington quarter without a mint mark. This coin might look just like any other quarter you use every day, but in some cases, it can be worth a lot of money, even close to $10,000. Now, here's what you need to know. In 1979, the Philadelphia Mint made more than 500 million quarters. That's a huge number. Almost all of these quarters were made for people to spend. You'd find them in your change at the store or use them in vending machines. Because so many were made, most 1979 quarters are not rare. But here's the important part, a few of these coins were made in very high quality. Some were kept safe and never used. These special coins stayed in perfect condition for many years. Coin experts call this kind of coin a mint state coin, or MS for short. When a coin is graded as MS67, it means it is almost perfect, very shiny, no scratches, no dirt, and super clear details. Coins like that are very rare because most quarters from 1979 were used and got scratched or worn over time. That's why a 1979 quarter with no mint mark and in MS67 condition sold at auction for nearly $10,000. That's right, a coin worth only 25 cents when it was made is now worth thousands because it's in amazing shape. Let's explain what a mint mark is. A mint mark is a small letter on a coin that tells you where it was made. For example, D means it was made in Denver. S means it was made in San Francisco. If there's no letter, it was made in Philadelphia. Most 1979 quarters from Philadelphia do not have a mint mark. So if you have a 1979 quarter with no letter under the date, that's normal. Just having no mint mark doesn't make the coin rare or expensive. What really matters is the condition of the coin. To be worth thousands of dollars, your quarter needs to be very shiny. No scratches. No dirt or wear. Sharp, clear details, like Washington's hair or the feathers on the eagle. These are the coins collectors want. If your quarter looks like this, it might be a rare find. Also, some coins are worth more because of errors, like if they were stamped wrong. But this 1979 quarter is not an error coin, it's valuable only because it's in perfect shape. If you think you might have a nice-looking 1979 quarter, don't spend it just yet. Take a good look at it under bright light. If it looks really clean and shiny, and the design is super clear, you might have something special. To know for sure, you can take it to a coin shop or send it to a grading company. They will check the coin carefully and give it a grade. The better the grade, the higher the value. So keep your eyes open. Even a common-looking quarter from 1979 could be a hidden treasure, if it's in perfect condition. Let's talk about one of the most interesting coins on our list, the 1965 Washington quarter. This coin looks like an ordinary quarter, but some of them are very rare and valuable. In fact, one sold for over $15,000 at an auction. So, what makes the 1965 quarter special? To understand that, we need to look at a bit of history. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver. These silver coins were shiny, heavier, and had real value because of the silver. But in the early 1960s, there was a coin shortage across the country. People started saving silver coins instead of spending them because they knew the silver was valuable. This caused even more coins to disappear from everyday use. To fix the problem, the U.S. Mint decided to change the metal used in quarters. Starting in 1965, quarters were no longer made of silver. Instead, they were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, which means the coin had copper in the middle and nickel on the outside. This is the same material used in quarters today. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Even though the mint switched to copper-nickel in 1965, a few 1965 quarters were accidentally made using the old silver planchets, the metal discs meant for 1964 quarters. These silver planchets were probably left over at the mint and were used by mistake. These error coins look very similar to regular 1965 quarters, but they are made of 90% silver instead of copper-nickel. That's what makes them so rare and valuable. So, how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is one of the rare silver ones? Here are a few things to look for. Weight. A regular copper-nickel 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but a silver one weighs around 6.25 grams. You would need a small digital scale to check this. Edge. Look at the side of the coin. A normal quarter will show a copper-colored line on the edge. A silver quarter will have a solid silver edge, with no copper showing. Sound. Silver coins make a high-pitched ring when dropped on a hard surface, while regular quarters have a duller sound. Be careful if you try this. Color. Silver quarters may have a slightly different shine or color than the normal ones. If you think your 1965 quarter might be silver, it's a good idea to take it to a coin shop or have it checked by a professional coin grading service. They can test the metal and see if it's one of the rare silver ones. In 2014, one of these rare silver 1965 quarters sold at auction for over $15,000. That's an amazing price for something that normally only costs 25 cents. The reason it sold for so much is because these silver error coins are very rare and come from an important time in U.S. coin history. Collectors love coins like this because they tell a story. The 1965 silver quarter is a piece of history and a rare mistake that's now worth a lot of money. Even today, people still search their old coins hoping to find one of these valuable silver quarters. Sure. Here's a 570-word explanation of the 1989 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, written in very simple language for viewers to easily understand. Now let's move on to the 1989 Washington quarter with a P mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks just like any other quarter you might find in your pocket. But some of these coins are worth a lot more than 25 cents, in fact, one sold for around $2,000. Let's take a closer look at why this coin can be so valuable. In 1989, the Philadelphia Mint made more than 500 million quarters. That's a huge number. Most of those coins were used for everyday things, buying food, using vending machines, and getting change from stores. Since so many were made, most 1989 quarters are very common and not worth more than face value. But there's something special about some 1989 quarters. They were made in very high quality and kept in excellent condition. These coins were not scratched, worn down, or used. Experts call this kind of coin a mint state coin. That means it's in the same perfect shape as it was when it left the mint. Coin experts give these coins a grade using numbers. The higher the number, the better the condition. A coin graded MS67 is extremely well kept and very hard to find. That's where the value comes from. One 1989 quarter with a P mint mark and a grade of MS67 sold at auction for about $2,000. That's an amazing price for a coin that was made in such large numbers. So what does the P mint mark mean? The P stands for Philadelphia, which is one of the places where U.S. coins are made. You can find this small letter on the front of the coin, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail, near the date. Most quarters made in Philadelphia in 1989 have this P mint mark, so it's not rare by itself. But here's the key: most coins from that year were used and got damaged or worn out. Only a small number stayed in mint condition. That's why a 1989 quarter with a P mint mark in MS67 condition is so rare and valuable. If you want to check your own 1989 quarter, here are a few simple tips. Look for the P mint mark near the date on the front. Check the shine and color. Is it bright and shiny like a brand new coin? Look at the details. Can you see all the small lines in Washington's hair or the feathers on the eagle on the back? Make sure there are no scratches, marks, or dirt. If your coin looks perfect, you might have something special. To know for sure, you can take it to a coin shop or send it to a coin grading service. They will carefully look at the coin and give it a grade. If it's high enough, like MS67, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Even though millions of 1989 quarters were made, only a few are in this kind of top condition. That's what makes them rare and valuable. So next time you're looking through your change, keep an eye out for a shiny 1989 quarter with a P. It could be a hidden treasure. Next, let's take a look at the 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark. You might think this coin is just another regular quarter, but it has something special that makes it worth a lot more than 25 cents. In 1969, the Philadelphia Mint made more than 114 million Washington quarters. That's a huge number, and most of those coins were made for everyday use. They were spent in stores, used for vending machines, and handed out as change. So, you might be thinking, why is a 1969 quarter worth anything extra? Here's where it gets interesting. While most 1969 quarters are like any other coin, some of them were made with special characteristics that set them apart from the rest. These characteristics, combined with excellent condition, have made the coin very popular with collectors. So, what makes these coins so rare and valuable? The first thing to note is the lack of a mint mark. Normally, quarters made in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, but some coins made in that year were struck with extra care and were kept in great shape. This high quality is what makes the 1969 quarter stand out. But the most important thing is condition. Most 1969 quarters were used in daily life, and over time, they got scratched, worn out, or lost their shine. A coin in poor condition wouldn't be worth much. But a 1969 quarter graded MS67, meaning it's in almost perfect condition, is a rare find. A coin in this top grade can be worth around $3,000 at auction, and that's a big jump from its original 25-cent value. So, what does it mean to have a coin in MS67 condition? Coins are graded by experts to determine how well they were made and how much where they've gotten. An MS67 coin is almost perfect, it has no scratches, no marks, and the details are sharp and clear. The coin looks brand new, just like the day it left the mint. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is. And a 1969 quarter in MS67 condition is rare, making it very valuable to collectors. Another reason this coin is valuable is because it's an example of a minting anomaly. In other words, the way the coin was made is a bit different from most others, and collectors are always interested in these kinds of unique features. If you find a 1969 quarter that is in excellent condition and has no mint mark, you may have one of these special coins that collectors are eager to buy. So how can you tell if your 1969 quarter is a valuable one? Here's how to check. Look for the mint mark. Most 1969 quarters won't have a mint mark if they were made in Philadelphia, but the ones that were made with extra care may have no mint mark at all. Check the shine and color. Does the coin look bright and shiny? Is it clean and free of dirt or damage? Inspect the details. Look closely at the details on the coin. Can you see every line in Washington's hair clearly? Is the eagle's design sharp and well-defined? If it is, you might have a coin worth a lot more than just 25 cents. Now let's talk about the 1982 Washington quarter with a D mint mark. This coin might look like any other quarter, but in certain conditions, it can be worth far more than just 25 cents. One of these quarters, graded MS-67, sold for around $4,500 at auction. Let's explore why. In 1982, the Denver Mint produced over 500 million quarters. That's a lot of quarters. Most of these coins were made for everyday use, like buying snacks, getting change at the store, or paying for parking. Since so many were made, most of the 1982 quarters are not rare or valuable. But there's a special reason why some of them stand out. To explain why, let's first talk about the D mint mark on these coins. The mint mark is a small letter on a coin that tells you where it was made. In the case of the 1982 Washington quarter, the D stands for the Denver Mint. The letter is usually found on the front of the coin, just below George Washington's ponytail, near the date. If you see the D, you know the coin was made in Denver. However, the mint mark alone does not automatically make the coin valuable. What matters is the condition of the coin. Many 1982 quarters were used in regular circulation, meaning they were spent, put in pockets, or tossed into piggy banks. Over time, these coins can get worn down, scratched, or lose their shine. A coin that's been used a lot won't be worth much, even if it has a mint mark. But a 1982 quarter that has been well preserved and kept in excellent condition can be worth quite a bit. The most valuable 1982 quarters are the ones that are graded as MS-67, which means they are in mint state. Basically, they look brand new, like they just came out of the mint. These coins are extremely rare, and that's why they can fetch high prices. A 1982 quarter with a D mint mark and a grade of MS-67 sold for around $4,500 at auction. That's far more than its face value of 25 cents. Why is a coin like this worth so much? It's all about the rarity and condition. In 1982, millions of quarters were made, but only a small number were kept in perfect shape. Because the coin is in such great condition, collectors are willing to pay a premium for it. If you think you might have a valuable 1982 quarter, here's how you can check. Look for the D mint mark. This letter is near the date on the front of the coin. If it's there, it means the coin was made in Denver. Check the condition. Does the coin look shiny and clean, with no scratches or wear? If it does, it might be in great shape. Examine the details. Can you clearly see all the lines in Washington's hair or the feathers on the eagle? If the details are sharp and clear, your coin might be worth more. Now let's take a look at the 1971 Washington quarter without a mint mark. At first glance, it might seem like just another regular quarter, but some of these coins are actually worth a lot more than 25 cents. In fact, a 1971 quarter graded MS-67, in perfect condition, sold for about $3,800 at auction. So, why is this coin so special? In 1971, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.5 billion quarters. That's an enormous number. Most of these coins were used for everyday purposes like buying snacks, paying for parking, and getting change at stores. With so many made, most 1971 quarters are not rare and don't have much extra value. But not all 1971 quarters are the same. Some of these coins were made with unique characteristics that make them stand out to collectors. The most important factor for a coin's value is its condition. In 1971, while millions of quarters were made, only a few stayed in perfect shape. These are the coins that collectors are looking for. The 1971 quarter without a mint mark is one of those special coins. You see, quarters made at the Philadelphia Mint don't always have a mint mark. So, if you find a 1971 quarter with no mint mark, it's totally normal. However, if it's in excellent condition, like the MS-67 grade, it becomes very valuable. This is because these top-grade coins are rare and highly sought after. So, what does it mean when a coin is graded MS-67? The MS-67 grade means the coin is in nearly perfect condition, it has no scratches, no dirt, and the details are sharp and clear. The coin looks almost as if it were just made, even though it was minted years ago. Most coins, especially ones from the 1970s, get worn down after years of use, which is why finding one in this condition is so rare. A 1971 Washington quarter in MS-67 condition can be worth thousands of dollars. In fact, one coin of this kind sold for around $3,800 at an auction. This high price is because it's a rare and well-preserved coin that collectors really want to add to their collections. Now, how can you tell if your 1971 quarter might be one of these valuable coins? Here's what to look for. Look for the mint mark. Quarters made at the Philadelphia Mint in 1971 typically don't have a mint mark. But some coins may have other characteristics, like being in perfect condition, that make them rare. Check the condition. Is the coin shiny and clean? Are there any scratches, dents, or marks? If the coin looks almost brand new, it could be valuable. Inspect the details. Pay close attention to the details on the coin, like the lines in George Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers on the back. If they're sharp and clear, your coin is in great shape. If you think your 1971 quarter might be special, you can get it graded by a professional. They'll carefully look at the coin and give it a grade based on its condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is. A coin graded MS-67 is almost perfect, and that's what makes it worth so much. Coins like the 1971 Washington quarter without a mint mark are highly sought after by collectors who are interested in minting anomalies and unique coins. The combination of rarity and condition makes this coin worth far more than just 25 cents. So, next time you go through your change, keep an eye out for those shiny 1971 quarters with no mint mark. If it's in perfect condition, you might just have a valuable treasure on your hands. Conclusion. And there you have it, 7 Washington quarters that are worth far more than their face value. If you come across any of these coins, especially in excellent condition, they could be worth a small fortune. Remember, the value of a coin is influenced by factors like rarity, condition, and demand among collectors. So, always keep an eye out for those special coins in your change. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And as always, happy collecting!